Hi everyone, in today's video I'm just going to do a quick how-to on how to varnish your painting. So this one I painted quite a while ago. I know especially with resin, some people say that you have to wait or you should wait a couple of weeks to a month for your painting to cure and really let a lot of that moisture dry up before you try resining or varnishing it, so that the resin or varnish does not go cloudy or milky. I've never had that happen, but I was also living in a very dry climate for a long time. So this one I did months ago, so it should be quite cured and ready to go. But for varnishing today, I'm using Liquitex Professional Acrylic Medium. It's a gloss varnish, and it is a seals surface with a gloss acrylic layer, non-removable, protects from UV damage, non-yellowing, water resistant when dry. So non-yellowing and protects from UV damage. So if it's going to be in a lot of direct sunlight, something like this would be very helpful. And this one is, I like varnish. Sometimes it's obviously more cost effective than resin. It's not as difficult to work with, and a couple of coats of this, you can get a really nice shiny finish. There's also matte varnish that you can use if you don't like the gloss. And then just along with my varnish, I have my painting, and then I just have a couple of options for applying the varnish. This is a really soft paintbrush, and then you could also just use a sponge brush. I've used both. Obviously with a paintbrush, every once in a while, if you have just a little piece of hair that comes out of it, you may have to pick that out of your painting. And then with the sponge brush, sometimes it picks up some dust or particles, so you may have to clean that off before you use it. But I just like to rest my canvas on a couple of cups, so that if I have any excess varnish going down the sides, it'll just run right off and it's not sitting in the varnish while it's drying. So I'm just going to, I don't think you have to shake it up. I'm going to read just to make sure. So this also says, before varnishing, ensure paint is fully dry, 72 hours to 2 weeks depending on thickness. Do not thin with water, apply 2 to 3 thin coats, allowing at least 3 hours between coats. Vigorously overbrushing may give a cloudy finish. So I normally do about 2 coats, and obviously 72 hours to 2 weeks depending on thickness. If you're working with pour painting, sometimes you can have a really thick amount of paint on your surface, so letting it cure for a couple of weeks may be a really good option. But I just put some down right on my surface. I'm just going to use my brush today and just gently brush this over my surface. And I also try and get the edges of my painting just so that I can have a nice full coverage. And like I said, I just prefer the gloss finish, but you could also do a matte finish if you don't like the gloss. And I'm just doing nice light strokes just across my surface. Make sure that I have full coverage. Looks good. So what I'm gonna do is just rinse out my brush. I'm going to let this dry for a couple of hours, and then I'm gonna come back and do one more layer, and then we'll get some pictures of it while it's all nice and dry after getting that nice gloss finish to it. All right, so it's been a couple of hours and my first coat is all dry. You can see it's really nice and shiny. That's just the way that I prefer my pieces to look. That's one reason why I really like resin, and the way that resin makes everything look. Just give it that really nice gloss finish. So I'm going to do at least one more layer. I may actually try a couple, do 2 or 3 more to get a really nice thicker coat of this varnish, just to see how nice and shiny I can get it. But again, I'm just going to pour a little bit right on my canvas and just use my nice soft brush that I have and just brush it right on. And then once this is all dry, I will get some nice pictures for you. And this painting was one of my airbrush pieces that I did, and I absolutely love them. I have another one, actually I have two more that I haven't finished yet, and I think I'm going to wait and do those with resin because I really like the way that those look, and I just really like doing these airbrush pieces. So I went over the sides again, I went over the front of it, just make sure I have the sides good. And now we'll just let this dry. But I hope you guys like this video. I know I've had people asking me how I finish my paintings, and so this is just one really easy way to do instead of trying to use resin. There's also spray varnishes that you can use. Just because I'm working inside, I prefer the liquid instead of trying to use the spray varnish, but you could always do that outside. So if you want to see a video on the spray varnish, let me know and I'll do a setup with that. And I will do another one using resin. I know a lot of people have questions on how resin works, how you mix your resin, so I'll go through that again. But let me know down in the comments below if you have any questions on the varnish that I'm using or just any questions on finishing your paintings. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys like this video. And don't forget to subscribe. I do put out multiple videos a week, and I will see you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching today.